Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to Monday's edition of the Doctor Who Daily, and welcome to my huge review, a reaction to Doctor Who Flux Episode 5, Survivors of the Flux. But first, let's refresh our memories about the actual episode. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to read you the notes I took during the episode, while I watched the episode, and my thoughts and feelings, then we're going to discuss it. Right, let's do it. So Doctor Who Division, being some department that secretly interfered with the destiny of the universe, is kind of an interesting concept. But in terms of Tech-Tay-Yun, why create a Time Lord society, make the rule of simply observing, then break that rule? Point one. So let me get this straight. We are destroying Universe 1 and moving to Universe 2 because the Doctor inspires people. That's it. That's the narrative. So basically the Grand Serpent is the true villain of Doctor Who Flux. For me personally, I wasn't that interested in anything else that was going on in the episode apart from the scenes with the Doctor, while understanding the scenes with the Grand Serpent are relevant. The other stuff is just filler as far as I'm concerned. I think Bell and Vinder are awesome, but as usual, Chibnall is too lazy to actually develop his characters, so he makes them plot devices, as he's done to his version of the Doctor. But here's my biggest issue. Why would you keep the Doctor's memories? Surely that's going to bite you. I mean, I don't know about you. Comment down below. You know, smash a like on the video if you agree. If it wasn't for Doctor Who Twitter, I wouldn't have even realised we had a Brig cameo of sorts. The voice was quick and muffled. And why didn't Kate alert the Doctor about the Master? I mean the Grand Serpent. I'm not one of those who is offended by the Timeless Child. I just think it's opening a pointless can of worms. But by the way, I'm still not sure if Tech-Tay-Yun was being honest with the Doctor, but I'm going to judge the whole thing at the end of next week's finale, and I think that's straightforward and quite right too. I always said to you guys here on my channel that I was never triggered with the Timeless Child. I was never triggered with pre-Hartnell Doctors, and I was kind of intrigued by the storyline. I wanted to see it play out in its complete form before judging it. But let me ask you this question. You know, wouldn't it have been better just to have one pre-Hartnell Doctor and focus on that? I know, you know, the Doctor that we've seen, the fugitive Doctor, Jo Martin's Doctor. Imagine if there was just one pre-Hartnell Doctor and it was her. And he really honed in the development and the fleshing out of the character. Now, probably, you know, Jo Martin's fugitive Doctor isn't a pre-Hartnell Doctor. But if you want to change, if you want to evolve Doctor Who, change the origins and say there are pre-Hartnell Doctors, the problem with what he's done with the Timeless Child, if the Doctor is indeed the Timeless Child, because I know kind of Tech-Tay-Yun confirmed this to the Doctor in last night's episode, would you trust Tech-Tay-Yun? Would you take her word for it? If she had kidnapped you as a small child, stole your DNA, you know, created Time Lord Society with said DNA and created this society, and then told you she created another throwaway society that interferes, right? Would you believe her when she tells you, yes, you are the Timeless Child, what the Master told you was the truth? I don't believe her. I don't even believe she died in last night's episode. But we will find out. Now, one of my first points in my notes was, because it's pretty, look, I'm surprised other YouTubers, Who-tubers and people who love Doctor Who and love watching and talking about Doctor Who haven't thought about this as well. So Tech-Tay-Yun stole the Doctor's DNA, created Time Lord Society, and deemed that, you know, the Time Lord Society would only observe the universe and not interfere. But then she created the Division, or Division as they put it. I used to think it was the Division, but it's Division. She created Division to go and break the rules she first set up of only observing. So there's this Division where they go and they mess around with the destiny of the universe. They move things along a little bit, right? So why create Time Lord society, say we're only observe and don't interfere, and then break that very rule and create the division? Surely this is a plot hole in the whole thing that they were doing. Listen, Chibnall's only created division just so he can bring an extra doctor in. That's clear now. Now, at this moment in time, we don't know where Jo Martin's doctor fits in, whether she's between, is it not Hartnell, but, oh God, I'm so bad with names, but basically, if she's between the second doctor and the third doctor. That's the popular, ever-growing theory. She could be a pre-Hartnell doctor. As I said, that's what I would have done, because the thing is as well, with all these other multiple doctors we've seen the Doctor become, in the Timeless Child kind of explain all that the Master does at the end of the Timeless Children, they're just like these kids, they're these adults, and we see them quickly change. So now we've got versions of the Doctor that don't even mean anything. But if you focus on Jo Martin, just one pre-Hartnell Doctor, it's still triggering for a lot of die-hard fans, but it's just one to focus on. And that's why I don't get it. But I'll go back to my very point. Tectayun, you created Time Lord Society to observe and not interfere, and then you create division to interfere. As I say, it doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? Honestly, if you can make sense of that, please let me know. So, look, it was one of those episodes last night where there was a lot going on. But in fact, if you just don't... There's certain elements of this episode that don't actually have to mean anything to you or be important. The stuff with Yaz and Dan and the good professor are pretty pointless. I know we discover a bit about the tunnels and that this guy created these tunnels with these different doorways to different years and stuff. But yeah, that's great, but how did he do this? How has he got the ability to do this in the first place? Again, doesn't make sense, it's not explained. Hopefully it is explained in the Doctor Who Flux episode 6 finale. Because when you set all this up, not just the Timeless Child arc and the division, but in fact, everything that you set up in Doctor Who Flux, it all needs explaining. I predict he's going to have trouble explaining it. And also what I'll say again, what I said on my notes as well. My problem is with the Timeless Child arc, and it's not that there's pre-Hartnell doctors. And, as I say, I found the whole thing intriguing, is that it's a can of worms. Once you take it out the box, it's very difficult to put it back in the box. I mean, I've predicted before, this is going to be another thing just like the half-human Doctor from his mother's side that's never mentioned again. Once the Timeless Child is done, who's going to be dumb enough to mention this again? Not Russell T Davies, yeah. Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat have said breaking canon is fine. And I think to a point breaking canon can be revolutionary and it can evolve Doctor Who as a show and a character. But it's got to be done in an intelligent way. And he's just thrown this at us. And it's just there. Also, I mean, I don't think Tectayun is dead, but the Ravagers come in, they kill Tectayun just like that. That's it. That's the end of Tectayun. The end. And shouldn't the Ravagers and the Doctor be on the same side, considering the male Ravager basically killed Tectayun because they were getting revenge on her? So that's interesting. What did she do? That's an interesting scenario as well. Are the Ravagers kind of Time Lords? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It hasn't been explained who the Ravagers actually are. Again, I can't criticise Chibnall for this. I won't criticise Chibs and Chris for this because we haven't seen the full all the episodes of Doctor Who Flux. Next week is huge. I think at 1 hour and 5 minutes, it's a pretty long episode. He's got a lot of work to do, about the same length as the Timeless Children. So I expect something similar here. So let's go to Yaz. I've got another prediction for Yaz now. Now we know the multiverse was referenced by Tectayun. As I predicted many weeks ago on this very channel, we are going to the multiverse. So Tectayun's big plan is to use the flux to destroy Universe 1 and go to Universe 2. But why? What's the point? She wants to destroy it because too many mistakes have been made with it, apparently. Because this is what she's been doing. This is what her division's been doing from the very beginning. You know, trying to protect the natural order of things. And when it goes wrong, you know, move a little bit farther out west. So this is her reasoning. And this is why she's brought the Doctor via the weeping angels to the division headquarters, so she can't cause any trouble. And so there's that. So the plan is to move to Universe 2. So what if Yaz is trapped either by the end of Doctor Who Flux, episode 6, on Universe 2 and Universe 1 is saved, or she's trapped on Universe 1 and they move to Universe 2? This could be a way to write her out of the series, and it wouldn't surprise me one little bit. Again, Chibnall to me is very creatively bankrupt. He's just ripping off Doomsday, the season 2 finale, when the Doctor and Rose, you know, are on separate parallel Earths and they can't see each other anymore, or so we thought. And I think he's doing this again. He's trying to recreate this emotional ending for Yaz's character. So don't be surprised if that happens too. Now, Dan's potential girlfriend is on this other planet, and she meets Vinda. And the dialogue for this woman, is it Diane? I think it's Diane. And she goes, I'm Diane. I'm from Liverpool. Right, you're on another planet. And you're telling this guy with a gun, a laser gun or whatever he's got, that you're from Liverpool. Why is that relevant? And it's all to do with the BBC's representation and inclusion quota. This is one of the reasons they actually axed Holby City, because of where it was shot. So they've got this idea now, through their representation and inclusion quota, that they've got to represent kind of, I suppose, kind of working class areas in the UK. So basically with Doctor Who Flux, they're representing Liverpool with John's character and Diane's character. And then she goes, I've got a score to settle with these lot. Now, someone said this is great because she's not a damsel in distress. Jesus Christ, soon they'll be making Superman movies and TV shows where Superman can only save men. I tell you what, if I'm in Diane's position, I'd like to be a damsel in distress. I'd like to be saved by a hero. Thank you very much. So pretty dumb, if you ask me. You're going to be a little bit scared in those scenarios. The only way that bravery with ordinary working class people should be displayed is to show a little bit of fear and then see them kind of take the mantle of being the hero. That's how it works. Rose Tyler was scared when she walked into the TARDIS for the first time. She didn't spit out, I'm a strong female. She was scared when she found out the Doctor. She was a little bit taken aback when she asked the Doctor if he's an alien. He goes, is that all right? She goes, yeah, but she's still taken back because Russell T Davies understands human nature. And as a writer, that is so very, very important. So let me just remind myself of some of my other points. I mean, look, I don't know where I am. This is why I'm going to look back on my notes, because it's crazy. Yeah, this is the point I wanted to make as well. Now, I spoke about in my notes how I really like Bell and Vinda. I like Bell. I really like Bell. But he's so lazy. He will not sit there and develop characters. I use Rose as a great example. I use Martha Jones as a great example. And all of Russell T Davies' characters, they were all developed. And it doesn't mean you have to waste 2 or 3 episodes developing them and focusing on them. Rose was developed very easy. She's from a council estate. She had a job. The Doctor destroyed her job. We got to know her mother and her boyfriend and her sometimes dead dad. But it was done really clever. For example, we had a whole episode called Father's Day, focusing on Rose's relationship with her father and what kind of man he was, a kind of Del Boy kind of character. And in the end, he becomes a hero. And the first time in his life, he sacrifices his life for his daughter and really for the whole of creation. So you really get to know him and Rose a lot more, and Jackie, by the way. It's done very, very easily, because when you have the ability in developing characters, everyone, as a writer, because I am a writer. I write my own plays and perform in my own plays and direct my own plays. So I know what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean I think I'm better at this than Chris Chibnall. He's got great experience. He's an elite creative. I'm not trying to tell you this, but it's common sense. He cannot be bothered to develop characters. He didn't bother developing his own Doctor apart from her eating custard creams. His original companions didn't work. He wanted a classic Who vibe, but look at the first three companions in the Hartnell era. Ian, Barbara and Susan. They have great character dynamics and chemistry between each other, and it works, and the characters are being developed. And we're talking about back in 1963 here, where you can kind of give them a pass. But they did it, and they did it better. Chibnall just throws characters in there. We keep on calling them Belle and Vinda. I don't think we should even call them by their first names because we don't really know them that well. And Dan, we don't know him that well. He's just there. He's just there. He says a few throwaway lines. He's kind of funny. He's kind of likeable because John is likeable. That's the only reason. It's not because Chibnall's done anything with him. This is why he's been cast. That's why Bradley was cast, so the personality of the actual person playing the character can do all the work that Chibnall can't be bothered to do. And this is the problem. Also, this whole, Brigadier cameo. As I said in my notes, if it wasn't for Doctor Who Twitter mentioning it, I wouldn't have known that was Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. No way. No way. And I also made the point in my notes as well. If Kate Lethbridge Stewart knows about this and has protected herself from this threat, why didn't she? I don't know if there's a way she can contact the Doctor. I think there is. Why didn't she pre-warn the Doctor about this? She threatened, she's threatened this villain with the Doctor basically without mentioning the Doctor by name. So why didn't she? She's claiming she can do it. Why not do it? She knew about this character. And what about this character? It's kind of an interesting character as well. So he's kind of, what is his name? Grand, whatever it is. Actually, let me get the name. I'm terrible, ain't I? Sorry about that. I hope I didn't lose you because I forgot the name. The Grand Serpent. Now, this is not a particularly, again, he hasn't really done anything with this character. This is kind of a mystery villain. And we see kind of the origins of UNIT and how it's created, because obviously the Grand Serpent, or whatever you call him, he wanted to be there. He knows UNIT is happening and he wants to be there because UNIT is a way he can manipulate events. So what is the whole thing with the snake? Didn't we have something similar with that before in the Doctor Who movie when the kind of thing was going out of, I don't know. Anyway, I think in Classic Who they've used it before. So there's some kind of organisation. Is he part of the division? And we have seen this kind of snake thing, this serpent, on other people as well. So interesting character, but not really developed or anything, and the character's not going to be developed. So what did I think of the actual episode? Look, it's like everything from Doctor Who Flux. You can't say it's horrible and that you hate it, but you can't judge each episode on its merits. The problem with an event series, it's a bit like the Timeless Child arc, like I explained on the top of the show. You can only judge it when it's over. You can only judge Doctor Who Flux when it's over. If it finishes and you think, actually, this works as an event series, you see, I can't really judge this from episode to episode. I'm talking about each episode, but it's not like they're standalone episodes. Standalone episodes, you can judge on their merits. Like two-parters, you can only judge really when they've both been kind of done and we've viewed them both. So this is an event series. It's a bit like 24, starring Kiefer Sutherland. Very difficult to review each one of those episodes. It's only when the seasons were over you could put it up. It's like a movie. So an event series is like a movie. So once all the episodes have been aired, then you can judge it as an event series. And this is what I'm going to do. So as I said before, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of people complaining that Chibnall's just thrown up on the script, and it's a bit like a Bond movie. We're at the Great Wall of China and it looks like they're actually there, unless it's CGI, I don't know. Are you allowed to go there? I have no idea. But It's great. We're here, there and everywhere. And we're moving along with Yaz and Dan and, the professor. And it's watchable, but it's not interesting. As I say, it's good to find out what those tunnels are there for. And I get it. It was all about the flux. Again, how is that guy been able to do it in the first place? Interesting. Is that person a version of the Doctor? So we are heading for, and by the way, a shout out to Jodie Whittaker, who is no way one of my favourite versions of the Doctor, but her performance of, her execution of Chibnall's script was very, very good. I really got her emotions. You see, Jodie comes from drama. She comes from things like Broadchurch and drama programs where she's going, she's expanding on character, on dramatic beats, if you like. And she did it really well with Tech Tae-yoon. The Doctor hates Tech Tae-yoon for what Tech Tae-yoon did to her. And she makes a great point. For all you know, I may not be from that wormhole. I may have been going into the wormhole and you stopped me. You took me away from maybe my family. I'm surprised in Chibnall's script that the Doctor didn't say, you killed me multiple times, and used me and abused me. You used me to create, Time Lord Society. That's not mentioned. So we know now that there's a fog watch with all the Doctor's memories. And let's expand on this a little bit. Who in the hell, right, if you're a clever, let's call her a villain, because basically Tech Tae-yoon is a villain, who's done all this, right? You've wiped the Doctor's mind. Why would you keep the Doctor's memories? She said she always likes to keep these things, but why? Why would you keep the Doctor's memories? You know the Doctor, you brought up the Doctor, right? You know what this character, this person is capable of. It's obvious to anyone that the Doctor eventually, one day, is going to get hold of these memories. The only way this isn't a plot hole if Tech Tae-yoon is using reverse psychology and she actually wants the Doctor to find her memories. That's the only thing I can think of. So next week, we're going to find out what all this damn storyline's about. And it's through the fog watch. The Doctor we're going to see the Doctor's previous lives. Maybe not all of them. Didn't Tech Tae-yoon mention that some of the memories are actually lost? I'm not sure. So we may not know everything. So Chibnall's given himself an out there already. It's good to be able to see what writers are doing to get away with certain situations and instances. So next week, I'm assuming we're going to find out about the Doctor's missing pieces, her time with Division, not the Division. We're going to find out a bit more about the Division, and we're going to listen. Even though I said that, Bell's scenes were kind of throwaway this week. But I am convinced that Bell and Vinder are important to the Doctor. They could be the Doctor's parents. They could be the Master's parents. Obviously, if the Doctor isn't the Timeless Child, by the way, as I already said, I'm not convinced the Doctor is the Timeless Child. And by the way, this is not me being in denial. It won't bother me if she's the Timeless Child, because let's be clear here. Once we get to 2023, it's never going to be talked about again. So it's all rather pointless anyway. But this is his arc. This is what the man wanted to do. I respect that to a point. I also understand it's split Doctor Who fans, and I understand why. As I say, if you're going to evolve the show, if you're going to break canon, make it work. At this point, it's very, very messy, but I'm still intrigued. It was a well-directed episode. It was an intriguing episode. Jodie Whittaker was way beyond the best performance of the episode, as the Doctor should be. And I did predict to you we wouldn't see it will be a Doctor-like episode. I was wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm going to give this episode a 6.5 out of 10. Give me your ratings in the comments down below. As an episode, it's difficult to judge because they're throwing so much at you. But in terms of the event series, very intriguing, very interesting. Bring on Doctor Who Flux, episode 6. We're finally going to find out what all this is about. Hopefully. This has been the Doctor Who Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, share, hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again tomorrow with even more Doctor Who Daily. Until then, Stay in that TARDIS. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.